Alright, y'all, what's going on? This your boy Bruce Leroy. Welcome back to the I Am Bruce Leroy channel, okay? Obviously, I'm gonna say this shit a third time because I didn't say it. Obviously, this your boy Bruce Leroy, okay? So, before we get started, okay, I need to make a quick apology, alright? So, here's the thing. I'm gonna give y'all a little rundown of what's been going on the last 2-3 weeks, okay? So, the last 2-3 weeks, I've been in the studio. I've been pretty much recording music the whole time, and you know, I wrote it, I believe, on my Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. So I put it down on my Twitter that, you know, I've had an 11-month hiatus out of music. So literally all I've been doing is trying to build up catalogs so that I can prepare myself to kind of work a lot, to try to save a lot of money. But right now I'm kind of in the grind mode, and like, when you haven't recorded for that long, and this is obviously something that I'm looking to do, like I'm looking to be the best hip-hop and R&B artist in the world. I'm so in love with doing music and creating music that I kind of got sucked into it, and I kind of felt a little bit unmotivated to go back to doing videos, go back doing the button. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's the promise I'm going to make before we get started. So at least one. So first and foremost, this week to make up for kind of like the last 2-3 weeks, closer to a month that we haven't uploaded a video, because we uploaded shorts here and there, but we haven't uploaded an actual full video. Like I put my little draft reaction I had, but that's not good if you guys want to see the full length videos like I've been giving y'all at least once a week. All right, so here's what's going to happen from outside this double upload week this week. Moving forward, I'm going to try to get it at least one video a week. So if it's like the button, maybe something that captures my interest that I want to talk about. I told y'all that it's a possibility that we might going to start watching movies and reacting to that. So I'll give you at least one reaction a week. All right, and then obviously Eagles mini camp, rookie camp, and that's getting underway as the summertime approaches. So hope everybody's had a fantastic April, because I don't think I had one video in April, if I'm not mistaken, outside of, again, the draft reaction. So today's video, well, before we get started, like, comment, subscribe before I kick all of y'all asses. No, it's better. I know I do already. Follow me on all my social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all at I Am Bruce Leroy, okay? So, damn, I lost my train of thought. I was planning to say something beforehand, but I completely forgot. What's it? I don't remember. Shit, whatever. I'll move on. Okay, so today's video is going to be basically, I'll be recapping the NFL draft. I know I'm about a week or two late, but like I said before, I've been basically just recording music, and I've been I have to bring myself out the mode to understand that, you know, my job is in two parts. My job is to create the content that, you know, some of y'all that watch love, you know what I'm saying, and I love to do, and also at the same time doing what, you know, what I feel like my purpose is, which is creating music, right? Okay, so moving forward with that, let's talk about this NFL draft. So there's a couple, before I get into the Eagles picks, there's a few things that bother me throughout this draft. The first thing is, I don't understand, because with Joshua Dobbs on the Minnesota Vikings, what he showed y'all, you know, he had a couple of pretty good games, nothing great, but he had a couple of pretty good games. Then he just fell off right and just basically showed everybody why he doesn't need to be a starting quarterback in this league. He's a spot starter at best. But here's the reality, right? So Joshua Dobbs being in that offense showed you that the Vikings actually need a mobile quarterback. So for the life of me, I don't understand why Minnesota wasn't aggressively trying to take a Michael Penix Jr. And I'm going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to talk about Chicago Bears too, because I am from Chicago. Despite the fact that I'm a diehard Eagles fan, I am from Chicago. So we'll talk about the Bears a little bit. Let's talk about the first couple picks. I'm about to talk about the rest. All right? So, yeah. So I don't understand why Minnesota wasn't aggressive in getting a guy like Jaden Daniels or Michael Penix Jr. By the way, the Raiders have a lot of, they got I think Brock Bowers from Georgia, and they got a lot of depth on the offensive line. They got Jackson Powers from Oregon. So that's going to be they're going to be a very interesting team, because they don't actually have a quarterback at the moment. So it was weird. I thought that really Las Vegas, they should have been more aggressive. Those two teams, the Vikings and the Raiders, those should have been the most aggressive teams towards actually getting a quarterback in the building. I don't really know why. And to this day, I still don't understand why they decided to get rid of Sam Darnold. Not Sam Darnold. I don't understand why Washington decided to get rid of what the fuck that nigga name is? Sam Howell. I don't get it, right? Because you didn't really give him a fair chance. The wide receiver core is there, okay? Got Logan Thomas at tight end, Curtis Samuel's now in Buffalo. He was really good. Terry McLaurin's a top 10 wide receiver in this league. I'll give him his respect. And they got that dude Jahan Dotson from Penn State. So they have offense. They have wide receivers. Their running backs are. I like Brian Robinson's pretty good. Everybody else is so-so. But they have weapons. They just need to upgrade the offensive line. So even though I felt like that Sam Howell's performance was very, very inconsistent, that's only one moment where he showed that he has promised to be the future quarterback for the team, and there's other times where he just looked like he was just very mediocre, just interception, turnover prone, and everything. It's hold on to the ball just way too long. But really, Washington's issue was offensive line. So the trade to Seattle, it didn't make sense. You didn't give Sam Howell enough. But now, if he stunk up the joint this upcoming year, I see why you get rid of him. But you just drafted him. He showed just enough promises to warrant giving him another chance. I don't know why they decided to trade him away to Seattle and get Jaden Daniels. To me, that shit makes no sense. Other than that very stupid-ass move that basically Arizona kind of fucked themselves over the same way. Because they had Josh Rosen. They didn't give much of a chance. And Josh Rosen just isn't good. It could be because he just lost confidence in the fact that he just got traded away. Whatever the case may be. But Josh Rosen is not a good quarterback. Okay, I think if you watch football, I think, we pretty much could be on a general consensus about it, right? So, it's very, very similar to the situation where Arizona traded away Josh Rosen and tried to take Kyler Murray. Only difference is, Caleb Williams was the first pick of the draft, and the Bears had it. They were going to select Caleb Williams anyway. So that's the difference. Jaden Daniels, I think, was like the second quarterback taken off the board, if I'm not mistaken. He's the second or third. I don't know. I forgot where Drake May went. But yeah, I thought that the Raiders and the Vikings should have been more aggressive. So getting J.J. McCarthy, I see J.J. McCarthy play. First off, that national championship game between Michigan and TCU was the most boring fucking national championship game probably in the history of mankind. I mean, you got to go back to the fact that motherfuckers wasn't wearing face masks on their helmets to show me a more damn boring game. That shit was boring as fuck. So, J.J. McCarthy, he's very, can I say he's mid at best? And I seen him throw on his pro day. He had a lollipop-ass arm. He's missing throws. There's nothing. Everybody in the scouts like, yeah, J.J. McCarthy's really going to climb up the draft boards. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this nigga's like, he's mid as fuck. Like, he's not even, I wouldn't really say he's mid. I think he's just, Harbaugh had a system that he fit well in. The defense was really good. He had a decent run attack. But he didn't do anything in that championship game that could say, like, that guy needs to be selected within, like, the top 10, 15 picks. He's like a second round, a late first round, second round, early second round pick. He's a project quarterback. He's not a quarterback that, like, so the Vikings getting J.J. McCarthy when Joshua Dobbs proved that what actually works better for the offense is a quarterback that actually can move. It just don't make sense. So it was very fucking stupid on him to do that. Justin Jefferson, whether he gets his money or not, and I feel like that they are going to pay him because you don't have to pay J.J. McCarthy if he pans out, which I don't think he will. Because, like, you're basically getting Kirk Cousins 2.0, right? But Kirk Cousins proved he can at least put up the stats, right? He didn't prove he can win shit when it matters the most, but he proved that he can put up some pretty decent stats to be like, okay, he can remain a starter in this league, if that makes sense, right? So JJ, what's the nigga name? Not JJ. Shit, I forgot this guy's name. Justin Jefferson. Yes, his initials is JJ, but I want to refer to him as Justin Jefferson. So he should get his money. I think he's holding out at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Him, CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys. Let me tell you something about the Dallas fucking Cowboys. I mean, Stephon Gilmore played really, really well. Played at a Pro Bowl level. I don't know if he got it to the Pro Bowl or he did, but he played. He had a very, very, very good season for the Cowboys. And for them not to re-sign him, it doesn't make sense because Gilmore's a little older. So he's not going to get top dollar. He was damn near, if not the best player on your defense, I guess you want to say the Parsons or Deron Bland, you can rank over him. He was like really he was one of your cornerstones to that defense. Him and Deron Bland really held that secondary down. So I just don't understand why you you left him in free agency. That shit just makes no fucking sense. You can re-sign him for another 1-year deal. It's really fucking stupid. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Stephon Gilmore maybe that didn't want to sign back over there, maybe because they weren't offering him the money. I don't know what it, because I don't follow the Cowboys like that. There's no reason. So they're not gonna do shit anyway. The cycle's gonna repeat itself. Like every time you go to the laundromat, you know what I'm saying? You put your clothes in the wash, you know it's gonna start off. You already know the steps, you know what I'm saying? So I don't remember like the exact step by step on how washing machines work, but you get my point. Washing machines gonna work exactly the same goddamn way. And the Cowboys gonna work the exact same way, right? They gonna beat up on a few easy ass teams. Oh, we pretty good. Gonna get smacked the fuck up by a really good team. Then after they get smacked the fuck up by a really good team, they're gonna beat up on more easy teams. They gonna be like, yeah, we're going all the way this year. Then they're gonna get smacked the fuck up either in the wild card or the divisionals. So the Cowboys gonna do the same shit. And I gotta tell you, man, with free agency in this draft. Now, getting Guyton from Oklahoma, that was a good idea. I think that, you know, with the injuries and the loss of Tyron Smith, you did need a tackle. I probably would have preferred, like, if I was a Dallas fan, I would have preferred, like, yo, let's go get this guy from Washington I forgot his name, but
dumbass.
Pittsburgh took him as the 15th pick, if I'm not mistaken. I know the Cowboys were like, let's get Xavier Worthy. Let's go get, you know, because Cowboy fans, they're fucking stupid, right? So they're going to say some shit that, like, doesn't make sense. This is filming. All right. Yeah, so they're going to say shit that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying Guyton wasn't a good pickup, but I'm going for the best tackle. Shit, I'll even go as far as to say, yo, let's go get Jackson Powers, right? Let's go get it, especially if I don't have to move back or whatever. Let's go get Jackson Powers. So, you know, the draft and the free agency, I mean, Jerry Jones didn't do a fucking thing. He did nothing. CeeDee Lamb is still holding out. I don't know. I mean, you got to pay all these fucking players. You got to pay Micah Parsons. You got to pay Dak. You got to continue. You're in that fucking cap hell with Dak Prescott, and you're thinking about extending him, which most likely is going to happen. I don't know if he's been extended already or he's currently waiting on an extension. I don't know. Like I said, I don't give two shits about the Cowboys. Cowboys going to do exactly what the Cowboys are famous for, which is fucking choking. I mean, goddamn, you gotta. If the Cowboys was a person, you gotta accompany them every time they go to dinner and to prepare to do the Muhammad maneuver or some CPR because the motherfuckers is always choking. Moving on from that, so Dallas Cowboys are fucking trash. Now, I'm going to say something controversial to Bears fans. They're not going to like. Well, I want to address Atlanta. Atlanta's so fucking stupid. Arthur Bland, the owner, the GM, the front office, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Explain to me why the fuck would you pay a bunch of money to a quarterback who, you know, most likely Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter there, right? So that's going to be a franchise quarterback as of right now. Right? You signed him to a pretty damn big deal. Okay, so if you knew that he was coming off an ACL at 36 or whatever case may be, and you didn't want to take a chance, why the fuck would you waste team resources and finances to a guy that you're not sure he's going to stay healthy? So if you don't believe in him, right, and you were going to draft a quarterback anyway, why the fuck would you waste team resources? It doesn't make sense. You could have directed that money towards bringing in any kind of free agent. Any kind of free agent. You directed that fucking money to get another quarterback that you're not going to make. Michael Penix is not starting over Kirk Cousins by week 1. It's not happening. Okay, unless Kirk Cousins get injured, God forbid he gets. And I'm not wishing injury on anybody. Michael Penix is not starting. So that was fucking stupid. So if you wanted to draft a quarterback, right? Which I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm in Atlanta, I would have waited for like Shador. I would have waited another year. I'm not drafting. I know people want to say, well, you know, Shador said he's going to Atlanta. He's not going to Atlanta, and especially not after the Michael Penix pickup. Then he's not going. But I would have tanked for Shador if I'm Atlanta. I would have got me a mid quarterback, maybe like a Garoppolo, somebody that's like a spot starter, maybe Joshua Dobbs. Shit, I would have brought back Ritter again. And Atlanta fans would have been pissed with me, but I'm like, yo, trust the process. You'll get Shador. You're going to rebuild, right? Because there's so many other holes in that team. Your offensive line needs revamping, right? Their defensive line needs to revamp. They need linebackers. They need corners. AJ Terrell's good. They got Jesse Bates. But they need some more secondary help, right? So getting a guy like Quinton Mitchell with the basis, maybe Cooper DeJean, maybe getting one of these defensive linemen or an offensive lineman, right? Or like that dude J.C. Latham, you could have had him. But like, just doing stupid shit. Like Atlanta, to me, they don't want to win. They don't pick players that say, oh, most teams with fucking competent front offices say, okay, this is what we need. This is what we need to go after. Atlanta's like, I'm just gonna take this player so nobody else can have him. What the fuck? Because they got Bijan Robinson on purpose so that way the Eagles didn't have him. That's the only fucking reason. But this how stupid they fucking know. We actually needed a defensive tackle next to Jordan Davis much more than we needed a running back. A running back was a luxury. So they did some stupid shit. A running back, Bijan was a luxury pick. It wasn't a need. It was a luxury pick. We needed Jalen Carter. We didn't need fucking Bijan Robinson. So Atlanta is just, all they're good for is like, yo, I'm just going to take players so that nobody else can have them. It's like they just I feel so bad for their fan base. I mean, their fan base is just like, and they're such a stupid fucking organization. Like, yo, rock out, do what you can. Yeah, I think Atlanta has a pretty solid cap. They're pretty solid when it comes to cap space, right? Just utilize that resources to tank, move up in the draft, go get Shador. But the fucking it's just fucking stupid. They're a really stupid organization. Atlanta's got to be one of the dumbest fucking organizations in National Football League history. I mean, that guy Arthur Bland, whatever the fuck that nigga name is in that front office, just hideous, just horrible decisions. It's just fucking morons. Let's talk about the Bears real quick. Let's just still filming. So obviously they drafted Caleb Williams. They needed to. If I was the Bears, I would have traded a 9th pick to get more capital. Because let's look at it like this. They had like maybe 4 or 5 picks out the whole year. So for them to sit up here and like, okay, I'm fucking tweaking. My fault. Because I got distracted by fucking, what you call it. So, bottom line is this. Yeah. So the Bears need help on the offensive line, okay? You got Keenan Allen. I think they got that dude Maury. They got Cole Kemet, whatever the hell his name is. Cole Kemet's all right. He's not great. He's all right. He's a good tight end. Cole Kemet. That's his name. So they got a decent wide, and they got DJ Moore. So wide receiver, you're set. So explain to me, okay, Caleb Williams you take, right? All right, whatever, fine. Even though my personal opinion of Caleb Williams, I think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. The reason why, because it's like he got a entitled. I don't give a fuck about. And Kirk Herbstreit's a fucking moron. You know, when he paints his nails and he had the phone case. That's not what a quarterback. That nigga's a grown ass fucking man. Why are you worried about another nigga? What the fuck does this nigga's nails or his pink phone case glitter? If that motherfucker wanted to put a Hello Kitty goddamn one of them little knobs you put as a magnet on the back of his goddamn phone, let that nigga do it. If that motherfucker wanted to sit up there and come in with a whole strawberry shortcake sleeping set with the sheets and the pillows and shit and the air mattress, let that motherfucker do what he want to do. That nigga wanted to come out with a motherfucking powder puff girl sports jacket. Let that nigga do what the fuck he wants to do. That nigga wanted to come in with like a goddamn Scotland shirt with a Scotland skirt with a goddamn with some bagpipes in his arms. Let this nigga do what the fuck he's a grown ass man. Please explain to me. It's the problem with niggas, right? They always so caught up in fucking shit that it don't make sense to get caught up in. That's a grown ass man. That nigga, whatever the fuck he want to do with his phone, if that nigga wanted to put like the Skechers symbol in fucking all glitter, let that nigga do it, okay? It doesn't matter. That nigga wanted to wear some fucking nails, like you know them long nails you be having in the makeup section and shit. Let this nigga do what the fuck he want to do, please. Because it has nothing to do whether or not can he throw the football, can he play football. What he does off the field has nothing to fucking do. What personal choices he makes, as far as what he does with his cell phone and shit like that, has absolutely nothing to do with who he is as a quarterback. Can he play football, right? That's not my issue with Caleb Williams. I don't know why. Kirk Herbstreit, whatever the fuck that nigga name is, who just taking all the motherfucking job. Like, this nigga ain't been in college football forever. Okay, let another young nigga have a job. Shit, get somebody from YouTube that's been covering college football for a while. Shit, get Flimlo up there in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Flimlo Rats. That nigga carried me through my first year of college when I was going through it and I was depressed. Him, Crank Lucas, RDC, those creators really kept me like level-headed throughout college. So shout out to all those guys. The bottom line, that's irrelevant. My problem with Kid Williams is that he just has this air of like arrogance and entitlement. And it's like, he think he got it, but he doesn't, right? I'm not saying you got to be Patrick Mahomes. You got to be this really just, you know, give all the good answers, you know, politically correct for the most part, very quiet, doesn't talk shit. You can talk your shit like a Baker Mayfield or whatever the case may be and have that kind of swag to you. But at the same time, there got to be a certain humility about yourself because you're going to be a leader of men. Okay, and you haven't done enough within the college ranks to really, for people to really say, oh, like, you're him. You're him as far as this draft class. I'm not putting you over Trevor Lawrence in Clemson. I'm not putting you over Joe Burrow's LSU year. I'm not putting you over Deshaun Watson in Clemson. I'm not putting you over Jameis Winston in Florida State or or Cam Newton in Auburn. I'm not putting you over those guys. You didn't have a better season than them. You had a pretty damn good season to be like, okay, that's the first pick. But there was nothing spectacular. There was nothing like, oh my God, like this nigga's crazy good, like insane. Like you didn't prove that, my guy. You didn't. Like you were a very good. Maybe beat up both a little bit of easy teams, but like you're not him. You're him as far as like, okay, the draft class speaking, but you're not him. So he needs to humble himself because otherwise his attitude and how he carries himself is going to come down into his preparation, how he prepares, how the team sees him as a leader. So he's going to have to really buckle down and kind of take a, like, I love confidence, I love swag, I love people who talk shit, but you have to scale that down a little bit too. You know who's another guy it's a fan favorite? Keon Coleman for the Bills, man. Keon Coleman, he went to the Bills. I forgot what college he's from, but that dude came in with swagger. He's humble. He's like, yo, I got this from Mason. He's like everybody else. Like Keon Coleman, I'm telling you right now, I have a very good feeling about this dude. See, that kind of confidence, that kind of swagger, that's admirable because it's like he got confidence and swagger, and he know he him, but at the same time, it's like he's not afraid to be humble. He's not afraid to say, hey, yo, I got this shit from Mason, man. I didn't get it from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And like he was sharing cookies. He was sharing a cookie with the reporter. Yo, Keon Coleman, man, I'm going to be that dude. He's going to be the future of this league. I could just tell. I never seen him play, but I could tell by his swagger, how he carries stuff. That dude is going to be nice for sure. Like, shout out to Keon Coleman, man. The Buffalo's going to be in good hands with that dude for sure. Pause. But y'all understand where I'm coming from. Moving forward. So let's talk about the Eagles picks, man. So the first pick, which you know, it was kind of crazy because like everybody took all offense, pretty much. The wide receiver wasn't taken. I think. Who was the first wide receiver? I think it was. Oh yeah. So Neighbors with. Oh my God! I can tell you some funny ass shit. Okay. So first off, they was booing the fuck out of Roger Goodell the whole time. I don't blame him. And Roger Goodell ass, again, he had back surgery, so I'm gonna excuse him, but like, that nigga looked like it's his first time going. I said, like, they kept this nigga in the house like fucking Rapunzel. Never let this nigga go outside. And it's the first time this nigga seen sunlight, seen a crowd of people, seen a goddamn podium. It's the first time this nigga did public speaking, despite the fact this nigga do the draft every fucking year. That nigga act like that he just is socially, that nigga's just, that nigga probably lives in a fucking cubicle. That nigga never steps outside. This motherfucker, like, I'm telling you right now, talk about a nigga that need to touch grass. Like, God, that nigga need a tan or something, bro. Like, shit. Like, that nigga, like, this is first time ever stepping out the fucking crib. Like, God damn. That nigga never, you know, heard a noise and go outside, like, I hope nobody break into my house type shit. I mean, that motherfucker, talk about a homebody, nigga. Like, just put yourself in a goddamn bag with a zipper. Like, shit, this nigga never walk out the goddamn house. And so this blew the fuck out of him. Eminem was there. Shout out to Eminem, man. Barry Sanders, yo, first of all, I'm mad as fuck. He ain't gonna be a Matt no more. I'm fucking pissed, man. That's my favorite running back, and he always does well for me when it comes to Mutt. And I'm pissed, man. That's my favorite running back of all time for those that don't know. And on top of that, he's really like, bro, Matt Mobile, I be playing that shit on a regular basis. He had 126 overall. I be facing against teams like 180 overall, 160, 170. And bro, All I gotta do is upgrade. He keep upgrading the offensive line, and bro be killing. He be breaking tackles. I still have 126 overall. That was from the Thanksgiving promo. I'm so goddamn pissed. I'm so mad. But let's either here nor there. So Barry Sanders should have got a louder applause because then he came and they was like, yeah, that motherfucker should be going through the roof. I'm like, yo, this nigga carried your goddamn shitty ass franchise. Yeah, they ain't shitty no more. They're a really good team because they got a competent coach and some really good players. But in the same token, it's like, what you call it? Yeah, that nigga carried your whole fucking team for a whole decade. Your quarterback wasn't good. Herman Moore was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, wide receiver, maybe a couple pieces on defense, but that nigga carried your whole goddamn franchise for a whole decade. And as of right now, he's the best player out your whole franchise. So, like, you better show that nigga more love than that. I mean, goddamn. Like, shit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so for the Bears, real quickly, I would have... They got Rome Odunze, which, again, is stupid because you have Keenan Allen, you have Daryl... you got Morey, and you have... what the nigga... DJ Moore, and you have a tight end. So now it's time to upgrade the offensive line so your quarterback don't get killed. And you could have got a finesse. So, like, who the hell don't want the 9th pick in the draft, right? Take the 9th pick, would have got me... slid back to maybe about, I'd say, roughly like 15, and then take like a early to mid second round pick, and I'm Gucci. That's what I would have done. I would have turned that 9 to 2 because you need offensive line. You don't need another wide receiver. So to me, I don't know a lot of Bears fans are excited about the Rome Odunze pick. I know a lot of people graded that high. It's really fucking stupid. You have all the weapons that you can have all the weapons you want. If you have no time to throw the football, like. What good does that do you? It's just fucking stupid. So with the pick, I would have slid back, took Jackson Powers about like 15th. You know what I'm saying? Just be smart. The fans would have been pissed, but as a GM, I'm like, yo, we need offensive line help. Let's go get the best offensive lineman in the draft. Why not? He can play center and right guard. We could switch between those two. We could put him at end. We could put him at center if we want. We could put him at right guard. So very stupid on the Bears. I would have slid back. Finesse like a early to mid second round pick, gave it to the 9th pick, and I would have slid back to about like 15, and then also, yeah. So that's what that was me, that's what I would have done. Okay, Broncos got fucking Zach Wilson and I don't know what this other nigga name. They got Zach Wilson. I think they got Bo Nix, who I thought was. That nigga's like the college Tony Romo. That nigga just put me to... That nigga was like fucking like football NyQuil. Just put me to sleep. Like that nigga was boring as shit. Alright, so I want to get to the Eagles draft. We're going to get that done right now. Alright, so... First off, before we end this, the Eagles had 9 total trades, which is the most in NFL draft history. So we had 9 total trades, okay? And we still managed to end up getting about like quite a few players. Well, more than a few, but you get my point. Alright, so let's get to the first pick. So the first pick... We stayed at 22 because everybody was taking offense. The quarterbacks, all quarterbacks were taken off the board. So that really helped us. And offenses was getting picked like crazy. And this was not a really good running back class because I don't think a running back was selected at all in the first round, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, moving forward, let's talk about. I don't even remember what round that people started taking running backs, which is kind of crazy. So yeah. So, at number 22, we got Quinion Mitchell. If you watch my video, I was not happy about this. Quinion Mitchell. Not Cooper DeJean. Not Arnold. Quinion Mitchell. Listen, I'm going to chalk it up. So I ain't watching enough college football. Quinion Mitchell. But here's in my defense. Number one, I don't watch college football. Okay, I haven't watched it. The only full-length game I watched, and they're not really a full-length game, I watched like 3/4, was the national championship game. So you have to excuse me if I'm a little bit out of touch with certain things, okay? I would have preferred at that pick Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid McKinstry or even that guy Arnold because he has familiarity. He had a great visit, and he has familiarity with Devontae Smith. But a lot of legends speak very highly of him. I heard Rondé Barber spoke very highly of him. I heard Shannon Sharp speak highly. I heard Chad Ochocinco speak highly of him. So I'm like, okay. And people were saying that he's the best corner in his draft. I just was listen, here's what everybody got to stop doing, right? Just because a fan has reservations about a legitimate reservation, because he didn't face high-level competition in his. Now he did really, really good in the Senior Bowl matchup against some of the wide receivers. And speaking of wide receivers, the Giants got Malik Neighbors, and when they asked him about Daniel Jones, he dodged that motherfucking question like Neil.
What do you make of him as a quarterback?
I'll wait till I get here to see, all that. I'm just happy to be here.
So that shit was crazy. So he don't be like, yeah. So he be like, yeah. So what do you think about Daniel Jones? I don't really know, but I'm really happy to be here. I mean, that nigga dodged that motherfucker like that nigga was in the shootout or something. But bottom line is, we're gonna move on from that Cornell show. Fuck. What else was here talking? Let's talk about something. Yeah. So Quentin Mitchell ran a 4.3, which I didn't know, and he squats like 500 pounds, which is fucking insane. And he tackles. So he's basically the best cornerback in this draft. And you look at it like this, right? So my guess is they might designate Bradbury to a post-June cut. I ain't gonna lie. Paul's like a motherfucker on how he was talking about. So yeah, you're gonna sleep with Slay. I'm like, whoa, brother, whoa, you wanna pump the brakes, man? There's a car right in front of you, man. It's a red light there too. You might wanna pump the brakes a little bit. Like, god damn, you doing more than tailgate, nigga. You're fucking like. You're doing anal sex with another car. I mean, like, shit. Like, you wanna slow down. Like, goddamn. Like, you pump the brakes a little bit. Like, shit. I mean, goddamn, you about to give another motherfucking car some back shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, chill out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, like, all jokes aside, very happy that Quentin Mitchell is here. It's just, like, I reacted out of sheer ignorance. And I also had a reservation because he wasn't in high-level competition. But at the end of the day, what people got to stop doing that already watching is trying to invalidate that. Don't invalidate that reservation, right? So just because I have a reservation about it, it makes sense. Just because it's not something you agree with, person, doesn't mean that it's not a valid concern. It is a valid concern that he didn't face high-level competition. Also, Nick Saban said the same shit. So for those of you that are well aware of college, don't get upset because somebody has a legitimate, as long as it ain't nothing stupid, and it has legitimate, logical reason behind it, don't get upset about that, right? So, moving forward, okay, what else? Yeah, so we took that at number 22. So, I'm going to have to read off some of this because I don't remember the choice off the top of my head. Yeah, so we moved up to pick number 40. So, we traded with Washington to number 50, 53, and 78, and we got Cooper DeJean. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. After we took a defensive back, what I would have done, because I feel like that we were pretty much already set at secondary, right? Because we have our safeties, we got Reed Blankenship in the building, and you have who's the guy, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and you're gonna have Sidney Brown coming back at the very least October. So you have some safety depth for now. So I didn't understand the pick. Right, because Cooper DeJean, that's not a guy you're really going to sit on the bench, and he just extended Reed Blankenship. So it leaves Reed Blankenship kind of weird. Again, I'm not saying Reed Blankenship was free from mistakes, but I think he's earned his starting spot. So just kind of creating competition in the building. It's just kind of going to be weird. Not to mention you have Tyler Hall and you have Isaiah Rodgers playing the outside. So to me, I think it was a good move as far as like he's a good player that can play. That was my favorite pick of the draft. Sorry about the saw Smith flying. My favorite pick of the draft was Cooper DeJean right off rip because he can play safety, corner. So I would have took him at the pick that they took Quentin Mitchell. That would have been my pick. But they decided to trade up, go on and grab Cooper DeJean. So basically our secondary is set for the future if you think about it, right? 'Cause you got a guy you can either keep at corner, or if you feel like he's not good enough to play corner, you can put him at safety. And then you got the best corner in the draft. So, you really can't win with that. So, yeah, I can't complain about, again, I wasn't a fan of the I'm not going to lie. Wasn't a fan of the Quentin Mitchell pickup. And if it was me, and I would have traded up to number 40, you know who I would have gotten? Jackson Powers. Why? Because if Cam Jurgens will work out at center, you can move him at center. Not to mention, you can move him at right guard too. So I know Statler likes to have guys who play both positions. What if you have the best offensive line in the draft, who can play center and play right guard? Because I'm not comfortable with Tyler Steen starting. I'm not really too familiar. It's this other guy we picked up from Atlanta. I don't remember this nigga name. I don't really give a shit. But I'm not too confident about him. And then, you know, we've got some other guys. We have some other guys later on, which we'll talk about, that are legitimate right guard. Matt Hennessy's the guy. So I'm not comfortable with him being a start automatically. But you got a guy who can start at right guard immediately and can play center if Cam Jerkins doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that would have been my pick instead of Cooper DeJean. I would have took Cooper DeJean at the pick that they took Quay Mitchell. That would have been me. But you can't lose because you got the best corner in the draft and you got a guy who you can pretty much move anywhere. So your secondary is pretty much set for the future. Yeah. So we had number 86. We got that from Houston. We traded that to San Francisco. And I believe at pick number 94, we traded back a lot this draft. So at pick number 94, we got J.L.X. Hunt. This was a Vic Fangio pick. I'm not going to lie. I see a little bit of the Senior Bowl. Is not saying he weak as hell. And yes, he came from a small school, whatever kids say, but just because you come from a small school doesn't mean you can't play at the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had multiple examples throughout the years. But I'm like, I just feel like they were better players. I didn't really, like I said, I watched college football, but I feel like they were much better players and better options than number 94. In fact, I probably wouldn't even trade it back this far or this much. I would have picked somebody at like, whatever, but it is what it is. So they got J.L.X. Hunt from Michigan. He called Howie Big Pimpin', which is funny. Then I don't know why the fuck they asked him about it, man. Like, yo, let that man be. And here's my advice for J.L.X. Hunt, man. Yo, be yourself, my guy. If you're not the proper talking dude, don't be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean you stupid. Don't make you ignorant. If that's how you talk, you'll talk how you talk, right? Of course, you gotta be professional in some settings. But yo, talk how you talk. If that's how you talk, you know, you talk with a little slang. You speak a certain way. You communicate. Be yourself. Don't act like you gotta change. Because I heard him in a press conference. He was really trying hard to because he knew he kind of messed up calling Big Pimpin' and it kind of made. But at the end of the day, how he took it like the G he is. That's how he Capone. You know what I'm saying? So he took it like the G he is. You feel me? Just let it be, man. Yo, be yourself, man. If you talk a certain way, bro. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. And on the football field, man, that's all that matters, bro. Okay? So honestly, at number 94, I probably would have gotten Trotter. But probably somebody got insight. And here's the funny thing about Jermaine. We'll get into that later on. Okay? So let's talk about the board picks. So we traded 120 that we got from Pittsburgh with the Kenny Pickett trade to Miami. And we traded 123 back to Houston. That was the pick they gave us throughout the draft. Okay? So at pick number 127, we got Will Shipley from Clemson. He's a scat back. You know, a guy that can, you know, fast. He's a third round running back at best. Good at catching the backfield. College stats wasn't too shabby, but he's a third down running back. It's nothing really to talk about. Maybe he might be, you know, I think he might be like a replacement for Boston Scott. If Boston Scott went to the Rams, oh my God! But nah, all jokes aside, I'm gonna miss. Yo, we should have re-signed Boston Scott, man. Fuck, man. I wanted Boston Scott to retire. Goddamn Eagle. Like if Boston Scott said, "Yo, I'm done," I wanted to be an Eagle versus like he's in the Rams. Rams got a good running back, man. Fuck, man. I'm so mad. Boston Scott's no longer an Eagle, man. That's really fucked up. But yeah, they got Will Shipley, so I'm assuming he's going to be taking the Boston Scott thing. Also, Cooper DeJean can also play special teams, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So we got him at 127. I'm not too happy about this. This pick right here is probably J.L.X. Hunt. I kind of get it. You know, Vic Fangio and that squad, they know more about it. They did their research, right? So Shipley probably like one of my least favorite picks. I don't like the pickup, man. I really don't. So we traded 132 from the 49ers to Detroit. Pick number 152, we got Ainias Smith. One of my favorite picks of this draft because Ainias Smith, he may be small, maybe didn't test super well, but at the same time, he's quick as fuck. He actually can break tackles. He's strong. Like he's really good after the catch. Ainias Smith is a very sneaky. Let me set up. Ainias Smith is a very good sneaky pickup. This is one of my favorite picks for sure, and he plays special teams. So I love that Ainias Smith pick. He's maybe small, but he plays big. He's very tough and can break tackles. and he's not afraid to get physical after the catch. Like his ability after the catch is what really stood out to me looking at some of the film. And Stevie Smith spoke really highly of him, and I saw the same thing. Like he's really good. So Fire picked up 155. The lineage goes on because you got Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who I would have picked over JLX Hunt at that moment, but like I said, they must have got some insight that maybe he was going to fall further down the draft. His college stats are pretty damn good. He was one of the highest linebackers when it came, highest graded linebackers when it came to coverage. He's a good tackler. He's actually a really good player. But his testing wasn't off the charts, which who gives a fuck about that? The man can play on the field, fuck the testing. Who gives a shit, right? And on top of that, the fact that there's pressure that you have to perform at that particular time, you know what I'm saying? That really changes things. You feel me? Yeah, but I really enjoyed that whole interaction with him, Howie, and Jeffrey Lurie being on the phone. Very emotional moment. I'm very happy he's an Eagle. Plus, I think it gives Nakobe Dean some competition. Like, hey, you better get your ass in shape. Stop getting injured all the goddamn time. You better figure out how to stay healthy. And when you on that goddamn field, play at a high level. So I really like the pick because not only is he a really good player, his father played here, so they have ties here. He actually going to give some competition to Nakobe Dean and make sure his ass got to step up. So honestly, most likely, if we didn't pick, if Jeremiah Trotter wouldn't have been an Eagle, I would have been this draft. I would have been unsatisfied. So really, this like my whole draft dream with Cooper DeJean being on the squad and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. That basically like that fulfilled me throughout the draft. You know what I'm saying? But I was still, cause I'm like, wait, we need offensive linemen now. Like, what you doing, Howie? Like, Howie, don't get it fucked up. Listen, I know some of the fans gonna bitch regardless. Sometimes so am I. Yo, get the offensive lineman in the goddamn building. You feel me? So, but neither here nor there, okay? So, at pick number 172, we got Trevor Keegan, starting guard at Michigan. So, he can play he was a starting guard the whole time. Pretty athletic guy. There's nothing much to talk about. I didn't really see it, but just know that he was a starting right guard during that Michigan's last year national championship run, okay? So, we trade number 161 to Washington. And number 164 we got from Dallas. We traded that to the Indianapolis Colts. And we traded number 171 to the Jets. And at number 185 is Johnny Wilson. So Johnny Wilson is basically a wide receiver tight end hybrid. He's a very tall, big guy, like 6'5 to 6'7", 237 pounds. Not the fastest guy in the field, but a guy who can get those jump balls. You know, he can get out and pause. And he's a physical guy, but Steve Smith said otherwise. So I'm hoping Steve Smith is just wrong about Johnny Wilson. But he said he's not a good multitasker and he's just not a good football player. But and that's probably why he fell down the ranks, because probably scouts saw what Steve Smith saw. But I'm hoping that Steve Smith is just wrong this one time. All right, now, a lot of motherfuckers, Eagles fans, be like, yo, Steve Smith, shut the fuck up. They said, first off, Steve Smith was right about Cooper Kupp, so y'all shut the fuck up. Number two, Steve Smith, for those that don't know, he talked shit and he backed it up. He wasn't afraid. He was fucking fist fighting corners and shit and beating their ass. Not only that, this nigga is one of the most, Cam Newton is the best player in Panthers history. Steve Smith, second place. Steve Smith didn't play with great quarterbacks up until Cam Newton towards the end. He didn't play with Del Holm was all right. Didn't play with great quarterbacks. Small, not a big guy, but had Hall of Fame fucking stats. Now he had Hall of Fame stats. When he went from the Panthers to the Ravens, most guys who transition to another team don't even play well. This nigga played at the same fucking level he did at the Panthers. So y'all shut the fuck up. Don't disrespect Steve Smith. You can disagree with him, say, oh, I hope you're wrong, or you know what I'm saying? But the insults, trying to act like he not credible, y'all tweaking. He hit on Cooper Kupp, and he's probably top 5 of the most underrated players in NFL history. Does not get enough talk for how good this guy was, especially at his size and deal with the array of quarterbacks he had to play with. So please, stop disrespect. You can disagree with the man, say, oh, I hope you're wrong, but talk about he shut up, all this other bullshit y'all talk about, respect the guy, all right? Because I'm telling you, he's him. Steve Smith is him. Y'all don't get the conversation like he's him, but just like Steph Joyner is a Hall of Famer, don't get the conversation. That's a Hall of Famer. He ain't in the Hall of Fame yet, but that's a Hall of Famer. All right. So Johnny Wilson, and then this I ain't gonna lie. This took me for a loop. That nigga live talking about some y'all watch Harold Carmichael. You say that to try to get on our good side, bro? Are you saying to try to get on our good side? Stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You lying your ass off. You don't watch no goddamn Harold Carmichael. The other receivers he mentioned, I believe he does. Harold Carmichael, stop the bullshit. Stop it. You don't watch no goddamn Harold Carmichael, you lying ass. But anyway, welcome to the team. But like his ass was capped. Let's keep it real. Dylan McMahon from NC State can play guard and center. It's always a good thing. Wore the Deshaun Jackson jersey when he came on there, so that was cool. Chiefs hit on Xavier Worthy, but he did concern me with the drop I saw like in rookie minicamp. So hopefully that's just like one-time mistake thing. But Xavier Worthy, that's a huge pickup. If I'm the Chiefs, I would have picked a more physical wide receiver like Adonai Mitchell, who's tall and fast, because you already got a small guy with Marquise Brown. But and Rashee Rice is going to be coming back too. So, but you know, you can't lose with Xavier Worthy. He was arguably, you know, Neighbors and Marvin Harrison, who's a Cardinal, those guys were obviously the best players in the draft as far as wide receivers are concerned. But, you know, Xavier Worthy ran a crazy 40-yard dash, so you can't lose with him, especially with Rasheed Rice being out. Not Rasheed Wallace, sorry. All right, so we traded number 201 to the Colts, 210 to Detroit. So we have 3rd and 4th and 5th round picks for next year. Howie's amazing. I gave the draft overall grade an A. Probably my least favorite pickup was the Will Shipley pickup. I just didn't like it. I felt like there was better players on the board. And maybe I felt like I would have took Cooper DeJean at 22 and would have gotten Jackson Powers rather than Cooper DeJean in the 2nd round. So I would have had Cooper DeJean at 22, and then I would have traded up to 40 to get Jackson Powers. But either way, secondary set for life. Got multiple picks for next year. Got offensive line depth that I was concerned he wasn't going to get, so you can't lose with that. All right, so we're going to quickly, very, very briefly, go over the undrafted free agents. So Gabe Hall, Baylor, huge guy, has some really good steals, huge guy, and had a really, really, really impressive Senior Bowl. He's a defensive tackle from Baylor. The problem is he hasn't had a lot of sample size when it comes to gameplay. So that's why he probably didn't get drafted. So we got Gottlieb, a Yedze, an offensive guard for Maryland. Just an undersized lineman who's athletic. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens with that. Kendall Milton, a pretty good player. He's a running back for Georgia. He's just slow. Akeem Dunkwa, he's an offensive tackle from Howard. Big guy, athletic. There's nothing else to totally talk about after that. Let's see. McCollin Castles, a tight end from Tennessee. I don't know what to talk about. He's a tight end. That's it. And Andre Sampson for LSU. Actually had a really good year in 2023. I don't know why he went undrafted. He just played for a majority of teams. So he played for McNeese State and Marshall before. But he actually had when he transferred to LSU, he actually had a pretty good year. So I guess maybe nobody wouldn't take a chance. But Andre Sam is actually a very, very underrated pickup. We had a guy from Marshall. That Chase Senior of Eagles Now Chat Sports mentioned, but I don't know why. Maybe we decided not to sign him or whatever the case may be because he was being brought up first, and then all of a sudden I just didn't see him again. John Ross, who kind of is a bust in a way. Crazy speed, but he's a little older now. We'll see what happens. We brought him in for tryouts, so we'll see what happens with that whole thing, all right? And we brought this guy, I think Jeremiah Grant, who used to play for the Bears and the Dolphins, okay? So that's all I got to say. That's the draft. And that's the free agents. All right. So double upload coming. I'm going to keep it a surprise what we're going to do for the double upload. Okay. I'm going to go back to filming studio stuff. I just don't want to give y'all all the sauce. I want some things to be a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Some things I want to film, record, and be doing in the studio. Other things I want to kind of keep private. So I want to just give y'all the whole thing. Because I feel like the excitement for getting a present, the anticipation of getting a present is more important than actually getting the present. All right. So that's all I have to say. That's it. Watch out for the double upload. We'll continue being in the studio, and then I'll film another studio vlog sometime this week. And that's pretty much it. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all work week. I'm out of here. Peace. All right.